Now from Capitol Hill, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. But quickly, I want to get your reaction to the president's tweets saying that he didn't record his conversations with the former FBI director, James Comey. I'll read it to you. He said, with all of the recently reported electronic surveillance, intercepts, unmasking, and illegal leaking of information, I have no idea whether there are tapes or recordings of my conversations with James Comey, but I did not make and do not have any such recordings. Your reaction?
Well, you know, I'm in a similar position to the president. I kind of worry about who's been recording whose conversations and who's been leaking them to the press. I've been asking the intelligence community for a couple of months now, did the Obama administration surveil me in any way? And I'm hoping to get an answer, hopefully in the next few days. But I think all of us are worried about too much spying on American citizens, particularly without any kind of warrant or any kind of probable cause.
So do you think that it's possible that there are tapes, but the president doesn't know about those tapes, recordings of the conversation that he had with Comey, that the surveillance may have been secret? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Well, what I'm very concerned about is there was an article in the Washington Post last year talking about how President Obama was minimized, meaning that they listened to his conversation, knew who it was, and they blacked out his name. I don't think the intelligence community should be listening to any president, Republican or Democrat. So yes, I am concerned, and I think the rules need to be explicit that they don't listen to the president and that they don't listen to members of Congress and that the president doesn't listen to members of Congress. We have to have much more control over privacy because it's gotten out of hand, and what happened to General Flynn could happen to any ordinary citizen, and that shouldn't happen in America where they listen to your private phone call and then take you down by releasing things to the media.
So what evidence do you have, Senator, because this is a pretty startling accusation that the intelligence community may be spying on the President of the United States?
We know that they spied on Flynn because the media reported the contents of his conversation. That's what got him in trouble with saying one thing privately and maybe another thing to the people in the administration. But they only knew that because someone eavesdropped on a private conversation. I have no evidence that they're listening to this president or have, but there was a Washington Post article, and it's been somewhat disputed in the presentation, but it said that President Obama was minimized 1,500 times, meaning they would have had to listen to his conversation 1,500 times. Now, the author now has changed his presentation of those facts, but it does concern me that if we're listening to every foreigner, we would also be listening to prominent Americans talking to foreigners.
I want to move on to health care, Senator, but with Michael Flynn, I think what was going on, the law enforcement intelligence community was spying on Russians who had conversations with Flynn, and he was incidentally picked up in those conversations. They weren't listening in on his conversation specifically. They were targeting Russians.
Yeah, but they illegally then leaked those conversations to the media, which is a major felony and worthy of actual time in jail.